There are some crazy and weirdly funny stories from history. We've collected a few that involve animals from monkeys to rabbits.
Let's dig into this.
More than 200 years ago, during the Napoleonic Wars, the people from Hartlepool on the British coast found the wreckage from a French ship on the beach. There was only one survivor, a monkey dressed in a miniature French military uniform.
Always alert to the possibility of spies, legend says the monkey was put on trial. The law said any spy found on British soil was to be executed immediately. Unfortunately for the monkey, he was unable to answer questions in the court and was found guilty.
The townsfolk took him to the town square where he was supposed to be hanged by a rope until dead. Except the monkey was a monkey and just kept climbing the rope and foiling the plan.
Hartlepool had embraced the taunt they heard over the years, calling them monkey hangers. Their football mascot is a monkey called Hangus, and the rugby team is known as the Monkey Hangers. Historians believe there was never a monkey in Hartlepool, and if there was a survivor of a French ship that was hanged, it could have been a young boy who worked on the ship as a powder monkey, carrying ammunition.
In 15th century Korea, everything that happened around the imperial court was recorded by historians who were separate from the government. Court officials were not allowed to influence the record or tell the recorders what to write. Of course, they tried, though.
While hunting one day in 1404, King TAEJONG fell off his horse. Nothing was hurt but his pride, and the king did not want his embarrassing fall recorded for all time. So he demanded the historian not write it down. The recorder ignored the command, and TAEJONG had his work destroyed.
The historian started to hide his reports in increasingly obscure places, but every time he made a new report, TAEJONG had it found and destroyed. In the end, instead of the incident being long forgotten, King TAEJONG is forever remembered as the king who was obsessed with hiding his fall from his horse.
Publius Claudius Pulcher was a Roman consul given command of the Roman fleet in 249 BC during the First Punic War. At this time, sacred chickens were consulted for battle. The chickens were fed, and if they ate, it was a good omen for the upcoming battle. If the chickens didn't eat, the battle would be put off until the chickens said the timing was right.
Pulcher made a big mistake when he ignored the sacred chickens, saying if they won't eat, let them drink, and throwing them into the sea to drown. The battle was a disaster, and Pulcher lost 93 out of 123 ships and over 20,000 men. Called back to Rome to answer for the catastrophe, he was accused of treason and fined for every ship he lost.
Called the killer rabbit attack by the press at the time, President Jimmy Carter was on vacation, minding his own business fishing in a boat on a pond on his farm in Plains, Georgia on April 20th, 1979. Of course, the press was standing on the shore taking notes and photos.
A rabbit appeared in the water, swimming right towards his boat and apparently hissing and flashing its teeth. President Carter used an oar to splash water at the rabbit, and it eventually went away. But the press went crazy a few months later when word got out about the attack on the president by the crazed bunny. The Washington Post headline on August 30th, 1979 read, "Bunny Goes Bugs, Rabbit Attacks President."
The media used photos of the attack to show Carter was a weak president, but Carter and others who lived in the area with water and rabbits know it was just a swamp rabbit, probably trying to escape a predator.
And speaking of rabbits, have you heard the story of Mary Toft? Usually presented as a tale of a woman giving birth to multiple live rabbits, that's not how the real story went.
Mary Toft and her husband were poor and worked in the fields. Mary became pregnant in 1726 and claimed she miscarried after chasing a rabbit in the field she was working. Late that same year, a well-known surgeon was called to help Mary, who delivered what the surgeon called rabbit parts. Within days, Mary was said to have given birth to 9 perfect rabbits, all who died, and Mary became famous.
King George I was fascinated by the story and sent investigators to see what was happening. They weren't disappointed. Within a few hours, Mary was giving birth to more rabbits and rabbit parts. She kept this up, producing rabbits and rabbit parts whenever and wherever she needed to prove her story.
To make a long, sort of gross story short, Mary's husband was discovered buying rabbits, and her sister-in-law was accused of sneaking them to Mary. Faced with surgery to help her, Mary finally confessed to the hoax.
She avoided prison when the courts could not decide what crime to charge her with, but by that time she was very ill.
In July of 1807, Napoleon Bonaparte was celebrating the end of the war between Russia and the French Empire with a rabbit hunt. A grassy field had been chosen for the fun, and somewhere between 100 and several thousand rabbits had been brought in cages and lined up at one end of the field.
When the cages were opened, the rabbits didn't scamper about. They all ran straight for Napoleon and his men, who took off in the opposite direction. Apparently, the rabbits were tame and thought the men on the field were going to feed them, not eat them.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, here's another DragonDen video you might like.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
And you can hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when our videos come out.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.